Hello everyone. The topic we cover today is depression. And the depression, we can say it is a mood disorder and it is like a common cold in psychiatry or psychological disorders, we can say. So why we say it is like a common cold? Because the depression, it is common and widespread problem of all the psychiatric disorders. And now we'll see what's the definition of depression. We can say depression is a mood disorder which is characterized by depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in all the daily activities. And if you come to this classification, the ICD classification, depression, it is described in chapter F32. Now we'll see the epidemiology of depression. So while coming to the epidemiology, the lifetime prevalence of depression, it is 15 to 25%. And in case of males, it is approximately 8 to 12%. And in case of females, it is little bit higher, that is 20 to 26%. And the depression, it is one of the comorbid disorder and it is usually associated with almost all the major medical illnesses. Now we'll move to the etiological factor or the causes of depression. So while coming to the etiological factor, there are mainly three important etiological factors for the depression. So one is genetic, another one is biochemical, and the next one is psychosocial factors. So while coming to the genetic factor, and if you see there is a genetic predisposition to the mood disorder, we can say. And in monozygotic twins, the twin study suggests that in the monozygotic twins, that is the identical twins, they have a chance of 50% to get mood depression. Then in case of dizygotic twins, it is approximately 15 to 25%. And in primary relatives or the first degree relatives, there is a 1.5 to 3 times more chance for getting this depression. And now we'll see the biochemical factors or the neurotransmitters theory, we can say. So while coming to this depression, we can observe that most of the depressive patients, there is a decreased or reduced level of neurotransmitters, especially the serotonin and norepinephrine. So these two neurotransmitters, we can observe there is a reduced level for these depressive patients. Then neuroimaging studies like a CT MRI, which shows that there is a ventricular dilation for this depressive patient. Now we'll see the psychosocial factors of depression. And while coming to the psychosocial factor, mainly the loss and grief, that is very much associated with the depression. Any type of loss it may be, the loss of a pet animal or loss of a loved one, death of any loved one. So due to this loss, the patient may be going for a grieving process or grief reaction. If that grieving process, if it is normally adjusted, there won't be any depression. But in some cases, the patient may move to the depression. If the person is not, if the defense mechanism is not properly working, then the patient may go for the depression. Apart from this one, the failure, any type of failure, it may be like a love failure or examination failure or any type of failure can lead to the depression. And apart from this failure, it may be other negative expectation of the environment, the negative expectation of the patient's life, the negative expectation of the future. Then stressful life events, okay. Any stressful life events, if the patient is not able to cope up with the stressful life events, it can lead to the depression. And apart from this one, we can say that there may be the major illnesses, maybe like a cancer, HIV AIDS, or in case of myocardial infarction, such type of patient, they cannot adjust with their condition, and if they have reduced defense mechanism, the defense mechanism is not properly working, they can go for the depression. So these are the various etiological factors of depression. And now we'll see what are the different types of depression. The depression, mainly it is divided into mild form, moderate form, and severe form. In the severe depression, it may be severe depression with psychotic features or severe depression without psychotic features, and there are some other type of depression like a recurrent depressive episode or a bipolar type of depressive episode. Now we'll see the clinical features or the important signs and symptoms of this depression. So while coming to the clinical feature, the important clinical feature is depressed mood. So already in the definition I told that the patient may be having a depressed mood. So we can say it is like a pervasive sadness. Means the patient will be having a depressed mood or reduced activities which is related to all the activities. The whole day the patient will be having a sadness of the mood or a depressed mood that we termed as a pervasive sadness. And along with this one, the patient may be having an anhedonia. So what is anhedonia? The patient will be having inability to express pleasure. Okay, that pleasure, happiness, patient cannot be expressed. So that is an important feature of this depression. Then apart from this one, the patient may be easily frustrated because patient may be having a stressful event or any type of failure or loss, the patient may be frustrated. Then the patient may be having inappropriate attention, easily the patient may be distractible. Then he'll be having a depressed ideation. The cognitive thinking, if you see, the patient's ideation will be reduced. So here you can expect the distractibility with the patient. Then the patient will be having a reduced psychomotor activity. In the younger patient, we can observe that their daily activities are reduced, it will be reduced. But if it is a woman or elder patient, especially the woman, they are undergone for menopause, such type of patient, we can observe there is a agitation or violent behavior with this particular depression. Then the important feature, it comes the psychotic feature. So here it may be the development of delusion and hallucination. So everyone knows what is the delusion. It is a false, unshakable belief. So in the depressive patient, we can observe the delusion of guilty. The patient may be having a guilty feeling. Patients think that I did some sin in my past life, so I have to be punished. The delusion of guilty will be there. Then the patient may be having a nihilistic type of delusion. The patient believes that I am not existing in this world, or I am invisible, or part of my body is not existing. So nihilistic delusion may be there. And sometimes the patient may develop with the persecutory type of delusion. In the persecutory delusion, patient think that some other people or someone is trying to harm me. Okay, that the patient will be having. These are the different type of delusional ideas the patient may be having. And the next psychotic feature is the hallucination. So in the hallucination, both hallucination, the auditory hallucination as well as what we can say the visual hallucination is very common with this depressive patient. In the visual hallucination, usually the depressive patient, they will see their death scene. Why? Because this depressive patient, the suicidal ideation, it is very much common with this depressive patient. So in the visual hallucination, patient may be seeing their death scene also. Okay, so these are the important clinical features. Along with this one, some other features will be there because the patient may be having lack of appetite. Then the patient may be having poor grooming. So they may be having a neglected grooming. They won't bother about their dressing, bathing, daily activities. Then the patient will leave their food, taking water, everything the patient may be living, and insomnia. In the insomnia, you can say that early morning insomnia. The patient may be getting up early morning, 2 to 3 hours prior to the exact means normal timing. The early morning insomnia, we can say, and decreased sexual energy, we can say. So these are the common other features that may be associated with the depressive patients. Now we'll move to the management. So while coming to the management, the first and important management is the hospitalization, because most of these depressive patients, they may be having a associated suicidal tendency. So the hospitalization is very much important for this depressive patient. Then we'll go for medication. In the medication, antidepressant drugs, you can go for any type of antidepressant drugs. There may be tricyclic antidepressant drugs, monoamino oxidase antidepressants, or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, we'll say SSRI. So any type of antidepressant we can go for. If the patient is having bipolar disorder, we can go for lithium carbonate as a prophylaxis. Then if the patient is having any psychotic features, we can go for any of the antipsychotic drug. Then the patient is some of the depressive patient, there will be a poor compliance with the drug. In that case, we can go for electroconvulsive therapy. Apart from this one, there are some psychological therapies are there, maybe like psychoanalytical therapy, psychotherapy, cognitive behavior therapy, and the behavioral therapy. And important thing, there should be a close observation for this patient, because they may be having a suicidal tendency. So we have to remove all the sharp instruments or rope, even the medication, everything. It should be out of sight of the patient. Okay, so today we have seen regarding what's a depression, what are the etiological factor, what are the types and clinical features. So this is for today's class. This is Vishant signing off till we meet the next class.